So I used to talk about hamster wheels. Samsara is like a hamster wheel. Then you think samsara is hamsters. If you think of a wheel, and what moves the wheel, what keeps it moving is, number 2, negative actions, negative emotions. That's what keeps you going around, what keeps your suffering continuing. And then because you're suffering, you have action based on suffering, which creates more suffering. And so that's what we call a wheel. Okay? And in the monasteries, when you look at a monastery from the outside, there's always a wheel on the wall. There's a big wheel, and it shows all the sufferings that we experience. It's in a painting. And this is called the wheel of life. So you have higher sufferings, lower sufferings, but it doesn't matter which life you're in, whether you're a dog, a human, whichever realm, whichever existence that you're experiencing, whether you're a beggar or a king, you're still suffering. The outside may be different, but the inside, the mind, is still suffering because it has the cause of suffering. Once you remove that cause of suffering and you wake up, then you can be the beggar and you're not suffering, or you can be the king and you're not suffering. So it's not dependent on the outside. It doesn't mean to cease suffering you have to sit under a tree. It doesn't mean to cease suffering you have to be poor or you have to be rich. It's a change of mind. What stops that wheel from moving around? You stop doing negative actions and having negative thoughts. So what did we find? We have negative actions and negative thoughts, don't we? We're not clean clear. We're not free of negative actions and negative thoughts. So what keeps moving in that suffering environment is I have a negative thought, I mix it with a negative emotion, and maybe I don't act it out. I can be jealous towards the people at work, I can be angry towards the people at work, but I suppress it. But it still provided a future suffering potential. Not a full potential, but it's something. It's not complete, but it's something. It gives you the potential for more suffering minds in the future. You have a jealous mind, you provide a potential now. The next time that similar situation arises, you plant more seeds which are similar. And then when you gather those seeds together over time, it becomes a very powerful potential for a negative action. Your jealousy can build up and up and up, and then the boss says to you, what do you think of that person? Do you think I should promote them? Well, I can't say. There are things I know that I would not like to divulge. You can do things like this, right? Because of jealousy, this person might be incredible for the company, would take the company up, but because of your jealousy, you want them out. You don't want them there, or you want them to go down. And so instead of thinking what's best for the group, what's best for the company, we're thinking what's best for me based on, number 2, the cause of my suffering. My jealous mind, my hatred mind, my angry mind, I'm going to that one and saying, let's go with that one. Right? Forgetting the result is, number 1, it's going to give me suffering. And when I'm suffering, I'm not happy. Right? We get the cranky mind, the irritable mind. Right? So when I'm not happy, then I want others to be not happy. Why are you smiling? You don't look good today. You know? Why are you wearing that? And it can go on like this all day, right? So this angry mind, hatred mind, then because of that, you have more negative thoughts. Because of that, you do more negative actions. You have more negative speech. And because of that, it comes around again. It brings you more suffering. And then because you experience more suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering, it's much easier to be unhappy and to then promote your suffering externally. And that's how we get trapped. in this cycle of just going around and around. And what we need is to look for the exit door. There must be an exit somehow, right? Or we're all trapped. We're all just going around and around. If it's like that, might as well go home. If there's no exit, go home. Yeah? Because we're just wasting our time. We might as well get out and enjoy ourselves and alleviate some of our suffering. But if there's an exit, if we can find the exit, then we could get out of our suffering, then we could be happy, and then we could truly make others happy. Right? But the problem is at the moment that we don't realize that we're in this suffering going around and around and around, suffering, creating suffering, that it just keeps going around. We don't realize we're in it. And so that's why Buddha said, the first thing you need to recognize is your suffering. I know this is not going to get me any votes. You're not going to vote for me to be president or anything like that, because it's not popular. If you wanted to be popular, Buddha said, the first noble truth is happiness. We're all happy. Follow me. Right? And then we'd say, oh, great, this is a wonderful path. And then after a while you say, but I'm not really happy. Why not? Maybe you're not really implementing what I'm saying. The happiness principle. Right? So do you understand? In order to be happy, you need to understand unhappiness, suffering. And once you understand your own, you start to understand others. You see somebody in work not happy, you start to understand why. And you'll start to understand your limitations to make others happy. Because if I'm not really happy, how can I make others happy? So my responsibility is first to myself and then to others, to spread it out, right? But first, the transformation needs to happen within me. I need to be aware of the negative minds as they're arising, the negative emotions as they're increasing, and I need to do something about it. Rather than just allowing it to happen, and then that's created more causes of suffering, and it's going to go around again.